Get ready to rumble.
It's the best team in London, no, the best team in the world. Everybody knows us, we go Millwall. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the den. It's Saturday, Congo Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine all the time, our families will bring. And it's the lads run on the pitch, and we'll sing. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the den. Let them come, let them come, let them come. We'll only have to beat them again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the den. It's Saturday, Congo Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine all the time, our families will bring. And as the lads run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the den. Let them come, let them come, let them come. We'll only have to beat them again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the den. Let them all come down to the den.
I was wondering if someone was going to come in with that.
Yeah, that was the old man.
Oh, it was your old man.
He was asleep just a minute ago.
He's fucking in, mate.
How are we, boys? Is that a lot better?
I think we're sorted, Kieran. So apologies for the late start. It wasn't my fault or Kenny's, it was Kieran's. No, we had we are a professional outfit. We do test the sounds for at least 2 minutes before we go live. And Kieran had a little bit of an issue with rattling in his, well, I don't know what it sounded like a little mouse in your phone or something. But we're sorted. We're in. Thanks for joining us. The first Den debate in a long time, called on by me and probably definitely Kelly.
Yeah, and, I do like a podcast or a debate.
And Kieran, the only surviving member from Peterborough away on Saturday. Of course, I had COVID. Kelly weren't there, but we do have fair share of away games. We're going to get into the deep mires of everything at the minute. I want to cover a few things that I forgot to mention in my post-match as well. We'll do that sometimes. Do a post-match, go, oh, fuck. Forgot to mention so-and-so. So, 4 defeats in the last 18. 11th in the table. 5 points off the playoffs. And we are, I think, 7 places better off than we were at this point last year. So, boys, why aren't we smiling?
Go on, Ken.
Ken starting that one.
Go on, Ken.
Look, I think, to be honest, I mean that's a great way of starting with asking that question. But naturally, we don't really do very well from the summer going into the winter anyway, do we? We always seem to do our best. What would be more interesting is where we are, say February, you know, like later end of February, and compare it then. But the reason I don't think that's got anything to do with Gary Rowett. Gary Rowett's plan has definitely worked because he has got better positionally in the table each season. But our play is poor, Dan. Very, very poor.
I mean, look, it's a strange one because we're obviously here, right? We don't always do these. We're here for a fucking reason. Let's be honest. And the reason is I can't really put my finger on it. I am not happy as a Mill fan at the minute, barring the Birmingham game aside. I mean, Kieran, I wasn't there Saturday, but obviously I commentate. I do the live stream, so I have the commentary turned down. And you said that Rowett was getting some from the fans, wasn't he?
Yeah, towards the end of the game, it's the first time I kind of seen the fans turn on Rowett. You know, it's pretty much seemed like the whole crowd was singing Gary Rowett, "Your football is shit," which is the famous song that he was sung by the Stoke fans, and also at some point during his Birmingham tenure, even though he had a good stint there, and also at Derby.
Well, that's enough out of him already. But when I was talking about previous clubs he managed, Ken, I remember, did you come to Stoke when we drew 0-0?
Yes.
And that was quite early in his Millwall reign, and I like what he did at the first. And they was going, Gary Rowett, your football is shit. And I thought, I think just being spawny because he didn't work out for him there. But I think we're seeing firsthand that it's just, I think I see on Nick Hart at Tongue, I think one of the boys on there said it's very vanilla, isn't it? It's not a Millwall existence.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's hard for us as Millwall fans as it is because, you know, that our whole mannerism of players completely changed over the last few years. And that's expected maybe to happen. Maybe we've had the rub of the green, good Millwall side, and then we had Neil Harris, who was a Millwall player, operating the team. And then we've gone into a completely different style of play, a different manager. And we're not trying to get the same, we're not getting the same type of excitement, your words, kick, bollock and bite. We're not getting any of that anymore. So if we were getting results out of our performances and playing a completely different style of play, you probably wouldn't have too many Millwall fans get the grumps. However, when you're playing a completely different style of play that you're used to and not getting the results, you can see why people are starting to turn on him. And yeah, I mean, me personally, I've said it from the off. You know, I'm a Gary Rowett out person. Sorry.
Not your old man.
Nah, not my old man. Yeah, he was out ages ago. But yeah, you know, I don't like it's the inconsistency of play and the style that I don't like. Hate.
Yeah. But
yeah, and
you
just
know
to join on what I was saying as well, is that the fact that I think it almost come to the Peterborough result and the Peterborough game because there was a lot of people that I was with supportive of Rowett. But towards the end of that game, I think the majority of fans were singing that song, and you couldn't help but disagree with it. I've seen some poor performances this season, and that was up there. And this season, it is really is a poor division. I think it's worse than last season. And, you know, I remember speaking to a Peterborough fan after the game, and they're saying, God knows how you are where you are. And I looked at him, I said, mate, I don't know either. They have been really poor performances. And like I say, the league ultimately, apart from you look at the top two, Fulham and Bournemouth are a million miles away. I don't even think West Brom are because we give them a good game. But it's just the inconsistency, Dan, isn't it? I think, you know, the fact that you can get turn up against Bournemouth, we drew against Bournemouth and we played well against Birmingham, best performances of the season. And then you turn up against places like Huddersfield, Hull and Peterborough and get absolutely turned over and shafted. It really does make no sense to me.
Well, let's move on to it then. Saturday's game. Starting 11. I'm going to put it on the screen now. That was the team we went with against Peterborough. What you'll notice is, if you obviously got your head screwed on, it was the same 11 that put in the fucking performance of a lifetime. The best performance, in my opinion, I've ever seen under a Rowett side. I think he's a better manager now than he was when I wanted him out during lockdown when we was 3-0 down at Middlesbrough, because he has started to change things. Our set pieces have changed, and he's finally bit the bullet and gone 2 up front. So how can things change so quickly in a week? I mean, this is no disrespect to Peterborough, and not sound spawny because they've beaten us. We ain't beat Birmingham and then gone away to fucking the Etihad, have we? Like the same 11 players. How has that happened? And the viewers can't see this. How has this happened? There's 2 Kierans in the stream. How is that even possible? I can see you twice, Kier. Oh, boy, you are having a stinker. Now you've
Mate,
gone completely.
I don't know what is going on at the minute.
I tell you what, the world, no offense, I love you, but the world
Right.
definitely doesn't need two Kierans in their lives. But right, so listen, what went so wrong Saturday from Birmingham to Peterborough? Players or manager? What's the crack, boys? Talk to me.
I don't think that I don't think that anything went wrong, Dan. I think that actually what we did is we played. Although I was buzzing about the performance, I think we played a very, very inconsistent Birmingham City. And not taking away the performance, we bagged 3 goals for the first time in the season, and we looked exciting to play. But again, it's not like we turned over Fulham or someone like that. We played probably the most inconsistent side in the Championship, other than us. And I reckon that was just a bad day for them, and we had one of our good days. More impressively, by the way, in my opinion, was the performance against Hull, even though we lost. So
I didn't see that one, so you've got to count me out now. But you was really impressed, Ken, weren't you, with the whole situation? Well, not the result, just the performance.
Yeah, I think the performance was, for me, that was a performance where you watch the game, we lost. There was a couple of mistakes in us that led to them scoring the 2 goals. I felt like we created loads of opportunities. We just didn't finish that game. And if we did, I think we would have turned them over quite easily. I was really impressed with the performance. That's why I thought we'd go on to beat Birmingham quite convincingly if we played like that, and we did.
Steve Lee says 2 years, 1 month, 21 days in charge. How many actual good performances in that time? It's a brilliant question, and this is the problem with me, and I've got written down here in my notes, Rowett endgame, question mark. How do we think, whether we want him in or out, whichever side of that fits you are, I think that we're going to be sitting here. Bill Murray will be the 4th person, Groundhog Day, in the group with us, because I just don't see how anything's ever going to change for the positive, really, under Rowett, or even the negative. I just think we're going to tread water forever. But what do you boys think? Skipping forward, obviously, on the back of Steve's question, what's the actual end game here for Rowett as Mill manager? How do you two see it ending? Good or bad? How do you think Gary Rowett eventually parts company with Mill Football Club?
Eventually, looking at it now, I would say bad, because I speak to a lot of Mill fans, Dan, right? And I was speaking to a group of fans after the game, and they said, they are happy to consistently be mediocre in the Championship and happy to sit there and attempt to go, well, at least we're comfortable every year. We're not worried about relegation. Where the hell does the progression come from? When are we going to move on? When are we going to take that next step? Because let me tell you, this league, I'm telling you, with the squad of players we got,
Kieran needs some new Wi-Fi for Christmas. Talk about what he's saying, though, Ken, right? He's saying about progression. I've got here the league table from this time last season.
Yeah.
And we are better off. We're a lot better off. That is the league table from this time last season. We're 5 places better off. So do you randomly, very strangely, I see progression. I see that we're better than we was under Rowett. I see that he is willing to finally change. I still don't want him in the job, but I don't find it as frustrating as I used to. Weirdly.
Yeah, I think when you look at the stats, unfortunately, you do sort of sit there and go, right, okay, well, there's a slight progression there. There's a slight progression there. Well, where did we finish last season? It was 8th, wasn't it? Was it 8th?
I don't know. We've actually finished, if I'm honest. Yeah, it was about 8th. Yeah, it was about 8th.
Steve Lees will be able to tell us. But I'm telling you now, the way we're playing, we're not going to finish above. And that's really what you need to look at season to season, isn't it? So at the end of this season, I don't think that we'll finish above what we finished last season. So then we're not progressing. Gary, isn't it this season that we're meant to be in the playoffs, according to Gary Rowett's 3-year plan?
Oh, the 3-year plan. Yeah, that's it. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything worse, Dan, than being in the playoffs at the end of this season, the way we play. I really couldn't.
The consistency thing, though, right? It's not just we can't just pin that at the feet of Rowett, because it happened under Harris as well, didn't it? I just at the minute, I'm talking here, and I feel like I'm going around in circles with a lot of things I'm saying, because I just don't really understand the identity of the club at the minute. I just don't get it.
Well, we don't have one.
I don't know where we are as a club. I don't know what the plan is, or where we're going. what sort of system we play, who our best players are our players that good? Is the league that weak? I'm just completely baffled by it all, to be honest.
Yeah, so I mean, there's so many questions, and there isn't many. There's so many questions and not a lot of answers, is there? It's I think that I think the Champions has been the weakest that it's been for years. It's still a lottery. You know, you wouldn't want to put your accumulator on the Championship, would you? Let's be honest.
No.
But
it's an accumulator buster all day long, the Championship.
Yeah, it is, definitely. But I don't have any answers, Dan. Honestly, I don't.
Here's a question that does interest me.
Yeah.
See, I used to think, and I used to say this, I mean, I don't know, but I'm surely, if I grew up, if I in school, when you're a kid, you try different things, you try football and blah, blah, blah. If Garrett Rowett was my PE teacher, I'd have played football for about a week and gone, I don't like that sport.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't play football. Like, he can't enjoy, like, his old basis and his ethics and his tactics, the way he likes to preach and practice the game is not how I don't enjoy it. So luckily for me, he wasn't my PE teacher. So I'd have gone, no, I don't like football. Can I go and fucking play trombone or something? Do you know what I mean? It just wasn't for me. Yeah. And the players as well, that I did feel, although nothing ever came to light, but the players, they surely think, hang on, mate, any chance of you giving us a bit of fucking trust here? Do you know what I mean? You got no faith in us. And this is why, in his defence, I think recently he's gone to the players, right, go on in. But let's go and try and beat a few teams. And it has been slightly better, or hasn't it? I did say on the start of the show, 4 defeats in the last 18. However, it is now, Ken, only 1 win in 6. Of course, that very, very good performance. Is he papering over the cracks? Is he dressing it up better than it actually is? Look, because that is our last 6 results on the screen. Derby at home 1-1, Middlesbrough away 1-1, Plymouth at home 1-1, Hull away 2-1, Birmingham 3-1, of course, the defeat. So it's 1 win in our last 6 games. Honestly, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I honestly, this is what pisses me off the most, Dan, is that he's come out in the press today and he's turned around and he's gone, right, you know, I was embarrassed of my players. I was embarrassed of the performance. But the problem is the buck lies with the manager. You know, and what you're telling us right at this moment in time is that the players that you've appointed to go and win a football match are not doing as they're told. That's what you're telling us. So actually, what you're telling us is that you're actually not a very good manager.
You can't. You got no authority on the players.
Yeah. And there's too many chiefs, Dan, because you've got Rowett who thinks he's a tactical master class man. You've got apparently Jed Wallace that seems to run the dressing room, and then you've got Alex Pearce that I presume has got some fucking pom poms in the corner and does a dance for him at half time. You know. What you need, and we also need it on the pitch, because this is very important. Hutch has become a captain on the basis that he was vice captain from, and I know I'm sort of veering off here, but I'll get to my point. From Pearce, I believe, wasn't it? Right. We do not have a leader on that pitch at all. So when things are going wrong, right? So for instance, see Billy Mitchell and Danny Mack. Billy Mitchell and Danny Mack.
Do you know what? You're going to lead it on perfectly.
Oh, okay.
Go on, but this is my issue with what you're saying. When the game ends, you go, Billy Mitchell was shit, or Danny McNamara scored an own goal. I go, that's not my. It's all about opinions. That's not my first port of call.
Yeah.
My first port of call. Where the fuck's Jed Wallace? Where's the fuck's the senior pros? Do you know who always stands up to be counted, and he's not the most talented? Murray Wallace. I think he's a fucking good leader on the pitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I always go. The problem isn't 2 very good young up and coming players at the club. The problem is the Scott Malones and the Jed Wallaces and Hutchinson, to be fair, stands up he can. Cooper's an experienced pro now, gone completely off the boil. But go on, Karen, what are you saying?
Yeah, this is what I was going to say, is the likes of Billy Mitchell, the likes of Danny McNamara, unfortunately, based on their age and their inexperience, they've got a mistake in them. And that's not a problem. But you need to have someone put your arm around them, stick up from something. I don't know whether you remember, we played Wigan. I think it was the last game of the season, right? This is a good few seasons ago.
Yeah.
And this big Viking fucker went and started on Billy and Gary Alexander, if you remember. And
George
straight
Alexander,
away, you had Steve Morrison go bounding into this Viking defend. That's what we lack now. We lack this authority, this hardness. You know,
spot on. And this is the reason that I said I forgot to mention things in my post match. We haven't got a leader out there in the core of the fucking pitch, and I've got written down there at the top of this page, which is when I put my post match out Sunday, I went, bollocks, Mikael Kieftenbeld. What did he actually do to get dropped? Because along with Daniel Ballard, for the first 10 games of the season, he was our best player.
Yeah.
I don't think he does enough, Dan.
You don't think? Go on, Keir.
I don't think he does enough. To me, he's that sort of player, and Rowett's obviously made it quite obvious that. Do you know what, like Jose Mourinho used to do with Chelsea? When he used to try and shut out a game, he'd bring on John Obi McKell, and that was it. Game over, done set. And I think Keith is that sort of player. When you'll see our preferred starting lineups, me and Ken down the line. But for me, I don't think he does enough to warrant first team place over the likes of Mitchell.
He definitely needs some new Wi-Fi for Christmas. So he doesn't like Kieftenbeld. Don't think he does enough. But I agree with you, Ken. I think he's exactly what we need.
But the problem is at the moment, Dan, you're playing Billy Mitchell where Kieftenbeld should play, and Billy Mitchell is not that type of midfielder.
What about Evans?
Yeah, no, or Evans. Evans can do one, but this is the problem, right? So what you'd ideally do as a free is you'd have, if you're to play that free, you'd have Kieftenbeld in there and you'd have Mitchell and say Leonard either side of each other, because then that's when you see the best of Mitchell. But Mikael Kieftenbeld he breaks up play, he can put a challenge in. He epitomises sometimes a Millwall player.
Yeah, I believe that's true as well. And I say he's not the most talented. There's a little bit of a mixed bag, which is fair enough. Everyone's got entitled to their opinion. Kieftenbeld is a bit lightweight. I think the furthest thing.
Yeah.
I think if you had to say one thing Kieftenbeld wasn't, I would say is lightweight, because he fucking pulls through people, didn't he? But at the same point, the same guy agrees we need leadership on the pitch. We just don't seem to have that, do we? That central focal point. And again, I do pin off at the feet of Jeb, because on Saturday, right, we just seem to be very, very fucking deep. Very, very deep. And Jeb keeps drifting. And Jeb wants to be the main man. I think he's got to be a bit more central, drop a bit deeper. But again, getting back to the Mitchell and the McNamara thing, this is all happening, of course, because George Saville's come back to the club, has done absolutely fuck all.
Finally, he's noticed as well.
I know.
Fucking hell.
But again, that just gone on for so long, it's to the point of ridiculous. But
it's a big problem with Jed. Listen, Jed is given, and this is half our problem when we end up having to defend. Jed is given an absolutely free role to do whatever he wants on that pitch, right? But when you've got, I don't know, Malone up on the wing, you've got an attacking midfield, and you've got the likes of Afobe and Bradshaw, right? You don't need Jed to be running around doing nothing, which is what he does for 81 minutes of the game. He might, 9 minutes of the game. But when you stick him on a wing because he's a winger, he creates opportunities. Look what happened on Saturday. He went down the wing, popped it in the Bradshaw, scored.
Okay, so let's look at this, because I keep saying he's not doing enough. A lot of people saying he's gone off the ball, he wants out, blah, blah, blah. Look at those last 6 games. Derby set up Scott Malone for the goal. Middlesbrough away. I don't think he was involved in that one. That was like fucking some dodgy own goal, wasn't it? Bournemouth. No, he wasn't involved in that one. But a whole away, I think he was. He was involved in 2 of the goals against Birmingham and, of course, against Peterborough as well. So he is doing his job. But all our experienced players, getting back to what you were saying earlier, and we're agreeing on the fact that we need someone in the core of the team to be like that fucking, I know we ain't going to ever have a Roy King ability player, but all our experienced players are sort of flair players as well. And they do chip in with goals and stuff. But when the chips are down, this is like my gripe with you, if you like. When the chips are down, I don't go, I'll go, where the fuck are the senior pros? They're the ones that need to be standing up and counting here. But I do agree. I love Billy Mitchell. You know that. I thought, he did have a bad game Saturday, but it wasn't the reason we lost the game.
No.
What do you think the reason was we lost the game? Do you think it was management decisions? Do you think the players? I think the players to a point need to go. Look, we should be rolling straight into this game off the back of the last one, full of beans, and just
look. It's one of them.
Peterborough to a point.
It's either it's one or two things, right? It's either really bad management. And we've scored a goal, and he thinks he's Jose Mourinho, and we're now going to sit back and park the bus for however long it was, 70 minutes. Or the players are not listening to what he's saying, like he said, and they're doing their own thing, and they're naturally sitting back. The problem is that this is what we've done all season.
Mm.
We
just seemed remarkably deep on Saturday.
I think the players' attitude on Saturday was horrendous. So that's the first time where I've looked at it and gone, these players are showing Gary Rowett no respect. They're not showing the 2,500 fans that turned up to support them and get behind them any respect. They don't look like they wanted to be on the pitch down on Saturday. Mm. They weren't interested. They were interested to start off. It's like the kid in the playgroup, in the school ground, isn't it? He runs around like an headless chicken, scores a goal, and then he pisses off to have his lunch. Like that's all he wants to do. They don't want to put the hard work in though.
Yeah. See what Sparky's saying. I do agree with that 90% of the time, but you just get the feeling we fucking turned a corner against Birmingham, and again, I understand people saying Birmingham are inconsistent, but you can only beat what's put in front of you. I think we could have scored fucking 5 or 6 against Birmingham. It's a really, honestly, look, we're both here because we think we know our football. We know our football. Everyone's on the comments because we all think we know our football. And at points, I'm going, I can't actually fucking work out what's going on here. Yeah, why are we so unhappy as fans? Why are we so unhappy? Let's look at the fucking league table. Let's look up before we look down. There's the current league table in the Championship. Steve Lees might be able to help me out with this, Steve. You got a little shout out in the pre-show when we was having a chat. Because I can only find up till last season's Christmas time league table. So what I'm asking is, I'm going to go on out a whim and say this is the best position we've been in going into Christmas since our 5 years back in the Championship. Steve, you might be able to help me out with that one. But that is not a bad position to be in, is it? And if you look at the bottom half of the table, Derby, you can't see them, they're fucked because of obviously other issues, but Cardiff, big club, Swansea, big club, Sheffield United come from the Premier League.
Yeah, but Dan, also when you look at that shows you how inconsistent you are. We are the teams that actually, most of the teams that we've lost to are in that bottom half.
Let's have a look.
You got Peterborough,
yes,
Cardiff, Hull. Did we lose to Blackpool as well, didn't we?
No, we beat them at home, Blackpool.
Okay.
Bristol City, we beat at home. Hull, we lost away. Cardiff, we lost away. Reading, we beat. Peterborough, we lost. Barnes, we beat. It is a mixed bag, but look, we demand the best as fans, don't we? We do demand the best. And I think if we hadn't been screaming and shouting, we might not be where we are. What do you think Rowett thinks of it all? What do you think Rowett thinks of it all when he sees all us?
It's just a job to him, isn't it? It's just a job to him. And this is where I think it's a little bit different from other clubs, is that this is what I do, Dan. I work hard Monday to Friday. I book my Millwall ticket. I wake up in the morning. I'm absolutely buzzing. I get down to the Windsor. I have a couple of pints. Yeah, I walk to the ground as if, I don't know, the feeling every time you see that football stadium, you get buzzing, you're going in there, you support your team, you leave without your voice. And then you expect to watch a particular performance. And that's why most of us are Millwall supporters, because growing up, we've watched a gutsy, proper, hard-fought performance. And whether we won or lost, usually we'd come away from there going, it was worth working that Monday to Friday to go to and watch the football. Whereas now, Dan, I haven't been to the last few games. I'm not interested. I'm not interested at all. When we scored, I didn't even jump up on Saturday. I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left to give.
Well, no, really. It does great on you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very strange situation. So it's not the Millwall we know. I think people from the outside looking in would say that we're just being we're being over dramatic. But I don't think, if you fully understand it, the concept of the club, like you said, you go to that game, you don't go back to the pub afterwards and go, oh, what a fantastic 4-man move that we did to score that second goal. You go, You see when he absolutely clattered the fucking right back
That's
and
right.
That's how people get steam coming out their fucking ears and foam coming out their mouth. That's what we want to see, stuff like that. And the fact that we like at Birmingham, mate, people were buzzing for a week afterwards at Birmingham.
Yeah.
Which obviously dragged this into a false fucking sense of security for the Peterborough game. But strange one, mate. Very, very strange. I got asked a question on one of these live streams. When I did the FA Cup draw thing for the Crystal Palace game thing. Who would I rather sign at the end of the season? Because obviously Tom Bradshaw is out of contract and Benik Afobe is on loan. Gary Rowett has come out in the press and said Benik Afobe is one of the best strikers in this division. You're shaking your head, but he's also in your best 11, which is a sign of the times, really.
Yeah.
But it's a good question. I think it's a question you asked 5 weeks ago. There's probably only one answer. But if you've got the choice, at the end of the season, Bradshaw's out of contract and Afobe is probably available on a free. So you can only sign one of those two. And let us know in the comments as well who you would pick. Who would you pick, Ken?
Yeah, I'm signing Bradshaw all day long. Benik Afobe to me is not as great. What we do is we go, right, well, he's been signed 3 times for over £10 million. He's done this and he's done that. But, he hasn't been what he was for probably the last, 3-4 years.
No.
And, I mean, I hate this phrase because people say it all the time. Oh, he does work hard, though. Yeah, but the thing is, though, is I don't want my attacker to work hard. I want my attacker to score goals. And I'll tell you what, there's been a couple of times when he's been in front of goal and my man could have scored it. And he's missed a target or he's kicked it or, let's remember one of his goals, he kicked it against a defender and it went in. Another one of his goals come off his head and he didn't even know about it. I'm not slagging Benik Afobe off because he does do a job. Yeah. And actually, he's actually best when he comes deep for the ball to then lay it off to your wingers, or like he did with Bradshaw's goal when he had his one-on-one a couple of weeks ago. Come deep, collect the ball, put it through to a striker like Bradshaw. He does have some benefits, but I'd be having Bradshaw all day long.
This is what I quite like as well. Not quite like, I say that fucking loosely. This is why I've seen an improvement in Rowett because he's finally started playing 2 up front. And I've always said, you don't have to have a big man, little man. You can have 2 just a bit of pace for when we break. Yeah. Those 2 up front, he finally seems to have got a little bit of a fucking double act. And I put something out on social media, didn't I? Because I have always backed on Bradshaw, right? And people still frustrates me so bad. I put this on social media. I don't know if for those who didn't see, I put a little Tom Bradshaw appreciation post. I don't always get it right, but I've backed him from day one. Always seeing loads of he's as bad as Budvarsson. He's got a touch like a trampoline. He doesn't score enough goals. Well, as I said many times, he scored goals under Harris, and if he's given the right service and a right run under Rowett and played in the 2, will score goals, etc., etc. Tom Bradshaw actually liked that. So for all those who said he's got a touch like a trampoline, he knows that now. But that's by him liking that says that he knows his strengths, and we've never played to his strengths. No. Him and another one, Conor Mahoney, have never really played under Gary Rowett. And people go, well, he played 105 games and he scored 15 goals. Well, out of those 105 games, how many has he played in a 2? How many has he started? And how many have we actually provided him service with the opportunity to score goals? So we seem like we have to turn that corner a bit with him now. And on that basis, when Mick Robinson's saying Bradshaw won't sign, I could say 100% he will. He's settled in the area. His missus is from Bexley. They've got obviously a young family, so he definitely will be signing. And as well, you ain't got to go out and get your recruitment to source a player and then try and bid for a player. Bradshaw's already there at the club, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? His job done.
Yeah. Afobe, I think. I don't know. Afobe would do a really good job for someone, but he just doesn't. Again, it's really hard trying to figure out players that will fit into Gary Rowett's mould. And this is why
I'm surprised he's playing 2 up front because, he won't usually play that. And that's why I always say, well, it doesn't matter who we play up front. because our strikers don't play in a way where we're going to go out and try and beat teams and score goals.
Yeah.
But in the last 3 games, we have played 2 up front and we have actually gone for it. However, we've only got 1 win and 2 losses to show for that. But I was surprised he played 2 up front against Peterborough, because away from home predominantly wouldn't. But I think he'll probably go back to 1 up front now. It's a very difficult one going into Preston. I said it's very like 2 different ways to look at it. Are we doing that well? 4 defeats in 16, but only 1 win in 6. I think a lot of our fans saw the opportunity for Peterborough and then Preston to really cement ourselves in the top 6. But for me, that will never happen under Rowett, top 6.
No, definitely not. And actually, it scared the life out of me, Dan. Even if we won and we got promoted, it would scare the living daylights out of me going to the Premier League. You know, just because our identity isn't there anymore. You know, if you know as well as I do, you know, let's say 4 years ago, if we'd gone up, you know that we'd go to every single game in the Premiership. We'd give it our all. We wouldn't expect that much in the Premiership. Do you know what I mean? And we'd turn out some probably half-decent performances and some scares the life out of me of us being in the Premier League with Rowett as a manager.
So just seeing there, fucking get Lafay back. I think he's currently injured. I've been checking. He hasn't been in the thing. About fucking. I won't go into it. About Tyler Bury. Fucking well on brains. Balogun will be a pointless signing, just like Ojo. I mean, Ojo for me, mate. He's like a golfer on a football pitch. He gets the ball and he wants to put it down and then take a little step back and just touch it again. How is he a fucking Liverpool player, that guy?
No, honestly, do you know what? Right, I think his first game it might have been West Brom away.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and watched him play. Is that look? I coach an under-12s team, right? And they're all scared of the ball. You know, if it comes to that's what he reminds me of. Like he's scared to go in for a tackle. All right, he's got tricky feet and he's got a bit of pace about him. But if you're not going to use it, then it's pointless. And where does he fit into our team anyway, Dan? Because you've got Jed that's meant to be on the right, you've got Malone that's meant to be on the left. He is a pointless signing. We might as well send him back, and he can go to someone else and nick their money.
That was last knockings on transfer deadline day, wasn't it? We was all fucking really excited. We get sucked in very easily, didn't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Troy Parrott was the next Harry Kane. I was all over it.
Fucking Ken, I was down the training ground with fucking arm around him during fucking the pandemic. Maybe it's my fault. Ken's a whore. I don't know. Yeah. They've been on paper. These are good signings. But they're just not, you know. And then we've got, you know, Mahoney, the Neely man. We've got fucking Bennett. We've got fucking Ojo's like a younger version of. Well, actually, he's probably older than Bennett, but Bennett looks about fucking had an uphill paper round in Chernobyl when he was a kid. But like,
do you know what we need, Dan? We need, for instance, whoever, you know, I don't take any interest in the lower leagues, but what we should be doing is we should be going, right, do you know what? League One, let's just say, for instance, Portsmouth have a striker. Portsmouth didn't go up. Let's just use John Marquis for just an example. Or Harness. Is it Harness?
Marcus Harness, yeah.
Yeah, they're number 10. Portsmouth don't go up. He's a young striker. Why are we not giving someone like that a goal? Because that's what we've done with Gregory. You know, that's what Leicester done with Vardy. You know, all these players come out of the woodwork from lower league, and maybe we need to give them a go. Or keep to our own, like a Lafay.
I went to watch him, didn't I? I went to watch him at Leighton Orient. He looked really good. Yeah. But I think he might be injured again. But again, it's not the Rowett way, is it? Again with Harris, all right, it worked fantastic. But you know, you said about going up into top division. Like, under Harris, I genuinely think we would have had a good go for a year, because that's what we was. We was the underdog, aggressive in people's faces. In Rowett, go up under Rowett and defend in the fucking Prem. But we just get crucified. Yeah. But it's not just that. It's like his signings. He goes to where he knows. And if you look at his signings as a whole, I mean, I know we were speaking about Billy Mitchell earlier. We haven't mentioned and Kieftenbeld. Let's talk about the other midfielders in that fucking scenario. Ryan Leonard and George Evans.
Yeah, so
I know Evans scored a corker against fucking Birmingham, mate, but he is one fucking terrible football player.
Do you know what? I every single game I see Evans starting, I'll back him to get a yellow card. And I'll tell you
you know
what,
what, everyone thinks he's aggressive, but he's just out his depth from behind the play.
yeah, and the Peterborough game.
Yeah, he's like scraping to get up. Yeah, oh, mate.
Peterborough game, I was fuming because he should have got sent off probably 10 times. Right, they weren't until like the 70th minute he got a yellow card. Yeah, Evans is. I can't remember who said this. Someone said this. It was in the group. He just looks like that painter and decorator that's going to come around and he's doing your house. Turns up Monday, asks for a cup of tea. But you know, he doesn't look like a footballer, does he?
No.
He doesn't necessarily play like a footballer. He obviously is a footballer. This is me being stupid, but yeah, he just doesn't fit into our mould. And who's the other one? Leonard.
Well, again, this is an interesting one I want to talk to you about because obviously I hated Ryan Leonard under Neil Harris. He's definitely a different type of player under Gary Rowett, and I think I've always said it. Some of Rowett's best work is getting the best out of Leonard. I know you're saying we're missing him in the midfield. Do you know what, right? And Steve Lees might be helping us for this one. He's not been fucking injured a lot since he signed that new deal. He's hardly played.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's, and again, this is the thing like with Mitchell and McNamara. Keith DeBell's 30 odd. Ryan Leonard's like 29. As much as I like Leonard, when he does play, he doesn't seem to play in the midfield under Rowett, does he?
No,
remember him scoring away at Wickham when we won 2-1, scored a good chop volley from the edge of the box, scored a worldie against Hull. But in classic Rowett fashion, someone does something really good in a position and then he don't play him there again.
Yeah, I don't understand it because especially now Danny Mack's getting a run of games. You do question why was Ryan Leonard put there? I mean, the only thing is you can say about Danny Mack is a little bit lightweight, maybe, right? So that's why you'd put Ryan Leonard in there. He's a bit stronger, but
a fucking lot slower as well.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, right? But also, why would you? Ryan Leonard, by far, in my opinion, is our best midfielder. And how he doesn't get a shout in midfield, I do not know.
I think, I mean, again, it needs to be checked. But I was going to do it today, but I didn't get the time. I was working until literally just before we went on air. But I think he's been injured quite a lot since he got his new contract. He's been injured quite a lot, which is worrying. But I mean, look, there was an 18 months ago, 2 years, we was going, he's fucking useless. I think he actually made it into a Lions TV all-time worst 11. So he has improved. But again, like we're looking towards, look, we need fucking Keith and Bell, and we need Leonard. Like we've got a few like Saville, Evans. We've got some midfielders that they're all like fucking clones a bit, and there's not like no real like fucking midfield general. Is it not? There's not a Millwall general in there, is there? You kill for fucking Alex Ray or a Terry Erlock in there right now, wouldn't you?
Of course you would. You know, and that's usually when we're at our best. You know, even when you go back to like Timmy Cahill. You know, he used to boss it about as well, but we don't have anyone in that central midfield area that is captain material, which I think you need. I'd say Clifton-Beld, if he was younger, you then he's pushing on. Billy Mitchell could be the answer. Definitely not right now, but in years to come.
I think he's fucking brilliant. You don't rate him as much. That's fair enough. That's football's opinions. But he wouldn't need, whether he is or whether he isn't brilliant, he wouldn't need that extra at the minute at his age, that pressure of the captaincy. I'm just trying to think back to when we did have one.
Dan, do you know what it is, Dan? Right, with Mitchell, I'll say it, right. I don't. I really rate Billy Mitchell as a player, and my biggest criticism of Billy Mitchell is the fact that he gets played in the wrong position. So I always feel like he's playing more of a, like a CDM.
Well, it seems like everyone was playing CDM.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And
ridiculous.
I don't think that's his strongest point. I think he's a lot better going forward. He's a lot better linking up play, travelling with the ball, etc. And if you're not defensive minded, which I don't think he is, then you are going to end up being prone to making mistakes or not tracking your man back, whatever it is. So, in general, I'll back Billy Mitchell to be a centre midfielder for Millwall for years to come. And I think he'll get better and better and better. But I honestly feel like Rowett plays him in the wrong position for us. So when he's had a bad game, or I think he's had a bad game, half the time it's not his fucking fault. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, it's because I think he's being played out of position, in my opinion.
It's just difficult because to be like any sort of a creative attacking player, like a forward, a striker, because we don't really create a lot, do we? And
No.
sometimes what he does do fantastically is he does keep the ball. I know you think sometimes he's a bit oversafe, and I have said that myself, but you're only going to go so far. It's going to get given away by fucking someone else anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sitting there talking about this, and I'm thinking to myself, we're in the Championship, we're 11th. Are we actually any good, or are we a fucking terrible football side? I still don't know sometimes.
I'll tell you something now, Dan, right? If we had, and I know I'll probably get some shit for this, but if we had Neil Harris still in charge with the players that we got, we'd be in the playoffs.
People are saying that in the comments.
Oh, are they? We'd be in the playoffs. 100% we would. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, Neil Harris. That's Christian Bastelli, though, but I've seen him in a Chelsea shirt in Belgium, so agree. Troy Evans behind the ball, centre right. Evans, I didn't mind him. You're the sharpest lid. You're getting praise there in the Deep South. Mitchell only got in as Evans was injured. McNamara only got in as Leonard got injured. He doesn't like our youth. Yeah, he doesn't. And that weird thing with Danny Mack where he was out for ages.
Yeah, that was
because
weird.
There was like alleged there was a fucking row about he didn't get back or something for a corner. Fuck knows. But people saying Callum Davison, Ryan Leonard good. There's a lot of fucking different things. Let's move on now. Preston Saturday.
Oh.
Well, always a difficult side for us to get a result against. Always think back to the time they come and tanked us 3-1. Now, I've said to you and Kieran today, Kieran's gone now. Pick your best 11. If everyone was fit, and I mean everyone was fit, pick your best 11 for a match. Would you be, before we get into that, actually, it's a good question. Would you switch it up in certain circumstances in the Championship? Or would you go, that's how we're playing every week, and we're going to go and try and win a football match? Or would you go, no, horses for courses, depending on who's playing and where?
No, my true belief is that, what they should be doing is they should be fearing us, wondering what we're doing, or not wondering what we're doing, but knowing that they've got a game on their hands and try and adapt to the way we play. If you're getting spanked 3-4-0 by half time, then you've got to change it up. But I'm a true believer. We change it a lot, Dan. We change it a lot.
It's modern day football as well. It fucks me off.
Yeah, I know.
Well, like back in the day, I know like we're playing youth level and stuff. I was a goalkeeper. I was like, if I weren't fucking playing, I'd want to be knowing why. But that all seems it's just a normal thing now, isn't it? Like across the board, all teams, not just Millwall.
It's mentality, isn't it? It's the change in mentality, Dan. Because, I don't. I'm just saying, Steve Lees has just put your stats up for you.
Oh, sorry, I was actually writing down Bob Who? Yeah, exactly. Here's your stats. Of the 22 games in the 17-18 season, we had 26 points, which was 11th. 18-19th, 19 points, 22nd. 19-20, points, 13th. Yeah, so we are, as it stands, this is our best season to date in the Championship since we've been back in it since 2017-18. Interesting. Don't care. I still want him gone. Go on, Kes. What were you saying?
Just talking about mentality and players.
Yeah, whether you just play the same formation every week and let the opposition worry about us.
I mean, you don't even hear about Matt Smith knocking on Rowett's door anymore, do you? Because that used to be a thing all the time. He was turning around and going, Matt, he scores a goal, he's knocking on my door on Monday morning. He's on my case. Don't get me wrong.
I feel like he's cut his wages in 6. They don't give a fuck.
I love Matt Smith, but I also appreciate that he doesn't have a role in this club the way we play anymore. So,
no,
but he's not even an impact player anymore, is he? But I would, again, mentality. If you're not getting the games after scoring goals all the time, why would you? Why would you get on and give it your best?
You just feel like you're disheartened.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I felt bad for him.
So this is what you would say is the best team if everyone was fit. Possibly this would be what you're saying is Kenny's 11. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, the only thing I'd do firstly is swap Hutch and Cooper around.
Yeah.
And do you know what? And if we had another centre back, I'd probably take Cooper out then. because he's had a
year,
mare. He's had an absolute mare. So, yeah, I'd have Murray Wallace left back. I'd have McNamara right because he can push forward. So I'd like to see more link-up play between McNamara and Jed. When they did do that 3-4 games ago, whenever it was, they looked really. It might have actually been the Birmingham game. Actually, they linked up really. Yeah, they linked up really well. Also on the left-hand side, Murray Wallace and Malone, they seem to link up really well as well. I'd have Kifthenbeld in there to be your CDM, so to speak. Leonard to be your box-to-box. And I've just put Phobie just behind Bradshaw. The reason why I've done that is because he likes to come deep.
He does like to come deep. He likes to drift left and right as well, the fucker.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're telling me. So, when he comes deep, if that's what he's going to do, then that's when you need the likes of Malone, Jed, Leonard and Bradshaw all getting up above him and pushing the play further up the pitch. Kifthenbeld can do your defensive work. You'd still have three at the back there, Dan. Murray Wallace and McNamara would push, and you just have Kifthenbeld, Hutch and Cooper there. To me, that's the best setup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I again, you're right. For the here and now, I'm just looking at that team and thinking, Bradshaw, 29, Malone, old, Jed probably not going to be in next season, Phobie, not a middle player, Kifthenbeld, 104, Ryan Leonard always injured. Like, this is where, but I like the 4-5-1. Or having said that, I've just been singing Rowett's praises because of the playing two up front. Just play with a look at Kieran's team. I know he's not here no more. That's one of my teams, actually. I'm a Bolkowski in goal. Cooper Hutchinson, he's put Ballard in. I think we can pretty much count Ballard out because if he does get fit after his injury, he's not going to be back fit until sort of March, April. In which case, I don't think he's going to join the club, to be honest. McNamara, left wing back. Murray Wallace, Leonard, Mitchell, Jed Wallace, Phobie, Bradshaw. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just sort of...
So defensive, Dan.
What, that?
You're so defensive.
Do you think?
Yeah, because what ends up happening is that Murray Wallace doesn't get forward. McNamara doesn't get forward anyway. Jed Wallace does fuck all. And so all of a sudden, when you're defending, what have you got in that middle area to bounce off of? We're always relying on a ball to drop to Jed, so Jed can toe punt it past the player and hopefully beat him for pace.
He does love that one, doesn't he? A little toe punt around the corner and try and get on the end of it.
Yeah, and when it works, it looks great. But they've come clever to him now. I don't know. When you saw our shape on Saturday, Dan, when you was watching the game, we looked quite compact. To be fair, everyone knew their positions, but it was horrendous to watch us try and defend like that.
I mean, moving off the subject, sorry. People saying, this is what I've written down here a minute ago when I've written down Bavard, I wasn't completely mad. Bring Tomo out the cold. Where's Bennett? Where's Mahoney? Well, Mahoney played for the 23s. Started up at Ipswich when they drew 4-4. And he got removed at half-time, injured. I'm going to tell you this as fact. John Danny Bavardson, Ben Thompson, Connor Mahoney. I'm 99% sure you'll never see any of them kick a football again for the club. Frustrating in some parts. Bennett, I love Bennett 1 minute and hate him the next. And it's nothing against his talent. He is never, look, his Wikipedia page is going to go Millwall. It's going to go Accrington and fucking Stanley. It's going to go fucking Hungerford Town or something. I don't know where I pulled Hungerford Town from. But unfortunately, as much as talented as I think he is, it's just never going to cut. Mahoney, I think, is one of the best players I've ever seen technically at Millwall. But they're just, look, it's this far down the line now. They're not going to cut the mustard. John Danny Bavardson, I'm hearing, is refusing to play for the under 23s. He's not even been training with the squad for months. Fair player Ben Thompson, he's been fucking playing with the 23s because he wants, he's got the right attitude and he wants to move, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He wants to move in January. But, yeah, I mean, with Bavardson, Mahoney, Thompson, all these players coming and will be removed from the club, you would think there's a little bit of leeway for maybe a couple of signings. But like you say, Ken, what the days of finding a Greg, I mean, you've got to do well to find a Gregory or a Morrison anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing that frustrates me with Rowett is I think we all know we'll go and get a low knee that's played 200 games for Derby, 200 games for Stoke, and a fucking 100 for Birmingham when the transfer window does open. Don't you think?
Yeah, he will. Of course, he will. You know, this
Oh,
is
I managed him before at them 3 clubs. Yeah, he'll come and do a job.
Yeah, but you're saying, you know, it's difficult to find a gem. We've got one. We've got one. We've got one of them gems.
You took up Isaac Laffey.
Yeah.
So I'm laughing at Peggy Mitchell's in the comments. Oh, and the thing is, like, it's a parody account, but he's made a good point as well. It's at the point where you can't blame the manager for the performances. 1 week superb, 1 week terrible. That's down to the players and the design, not the manager's tactics. Or could it be down, Peggy, to their desire to play for the manager? They don't have hunger. Yeah. It's really weird because it's gone somewhere again off the subject now. It's just. Is it completely stale? Have I got bipolar? Are we all mad? Well, that's probably all definitely the answer to that. Yes. But we go, we're shit, and then you see these stats on Twitter. Millwall have had 6 clean sheets in the so-and-so. Millwall haven't lost a game since blah, blah, blah. And you go, fucking get the win against Birmingham. Everyone's singing Rocking Around the World, Rocking Around the World at Peter Morris 60 till 5 in the morning. But now we're back down to for a bump. We're fucking hating on it all. Are we weird football fans, or are we like everyone else?
No, I think it's a great question, is it? Because you just by asking that question, you make me consider whether I am mad or not. But I feel like sometimes I have to zoom out, and then I just sit there and think, do you know what? I was buzzing about the Birmingham game and I didn't go because, as I told you, I haven't had any interest to do it in the last few weeks. But the long and short of it is that Birmingham are not a great team, and we just turned up for once. What? If you go based on the season's performances, then we are shocking, and it's not what us as a club, right? Forget the points, the stats, all of that. As a club, we are not watching the type of football that we want to watch right now. And the long and short of it is we're the one who pays the money to go through the terraces, and we're the ones mostly that support our football club, other than the chairman, obviously. You know, and we're the ones that are shouting and hollering on a Saturday at 3:00 to get behind our team. And so if we're not getting what we expect or the reasons why we support our football club, then we're allowed to have a moan. So I don't think I'm crazy. I don't want Gary Rowett to be our manager. I don't want half the players playing in the positions that they're playing, but you know,
two things you said there, and I agree on both of them. Is that firstly, like the stats, you can twist the stats good ways or bad, can't you?
Yeah.
I think to see which mood you're in.
Yeah.
They're like a wife, aren't they? Stats. They're your best mate 1 minute and a fucking enemy the next. Anyway, and the other thing, like, was football? I'm going to say this: was football always this shit?
No.
The standard. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Wasn't it brilliant when we were youngsters?
Yeah.
And do you know what? My old man used to fucking hammer our players: Bobby Bowery, Ricky Newman, Jason Van Blurk, Phil Barber, fucking all the Casey. We used to hammer Casey Keller as well. Like in the 90s, all the Uwe Fuchs, Chris Malkin, and all these players. But what Dave Savage used to hate as well. He used to hate everyone, my man, he still does. But when you look back, like these players would go to Everton and score 4, or they compete and score goals. They wouldn't win every week, but there's always excitement. And I just look at our players now and think, I wonder how you'd actually get on against a team from the 90s again. That'd be an interesting one, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I know they're all more fucking athletic, allegedly, although you're always going down with grade 2, grade 3, grade 9 fucking tears of their left fucking toenail. But I don't know. For me, I look at football and I think, and it's shit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Isn't it? Well, on that basis, thanks for watching for the last 5 years.
Yeah. The thing is that I want to have a debate with you about it, but it is shit. Yeah. Yeah. Someone just said something. Paul Grimaldi said Rowett brings in crap players and refuses to drop them and admit his mistake. And that is very, very true. You know, with Evans right at this moment in time, he likes to play Evans all the time. Evans gets in the team. I bet you any money he's one of the first on the sheet, team sheet. If he's fit.
I mean, it's a very good way of putting it. Look, it's stale and boring. I'm hoping he means the Gary Rowett football, not the show. But yeah, it is. And you try and make light of it. You go, let's do a podcast, and we fucking decipher this and that and discuss this and that. How does it end, Ken? How does it actually, not how do you, do it both ways then? Well, no, actually, we know how we both want it to end. How do you think it ends? Because I just think, going back to what Act Tung say, Nick Hartgood show, give that a listen if you get the chance. How does this end? Because he's not bad enough to get sacked. He's not good enough to get taken on by anyone else.
It's got to go like that for Rowett, or it's going to go like that. It won't always stay like that. Yeah, because what he's doing is he's stopping it at the moment from either going up or going down. That's all he's doing. It's the same as every single football match he does. He's 9 times out of 10, he stops us from losing.
But the thing is, that is what he's good at.
Yeah.
Do that when you keep needing to do that. I think I don't know, but I think he's probably well in favour with the board. And he got this sort of rite of passage that when he got the job, everyone was wanking. Everyone was excited. Brilliant! What a manager! Why? Is he? No.
Don't fuck
Christian
all.
Bastianelli, legend. Thank you very much for your donation. Oh, go on, he's there. It's been there since Saturday, but it's feeling like it's got COVID. I think I've give the gun COVID, but thanks for the donation, mate. Really appreciate it. Sorry, Ken, go
on. Gary Rowett's never done anything for any club, so he hasn't done anything. Neil Harris has had a better managerial career than fucking Gary Rowett.
Bold are not ambitious. The one thing I can take, I know it's not, but it is a positive. Usually, like we always say, you don't want to keep fucking changing your manager. That's not an ideal scenario. I do realise that. We've not had the thing where Appleman, Kenny Jackett left. Then you get fucking Lomas. Then you get Holloway. Before you know it, your fucking club's getting ripped to shreds. We did actually go Neil Harris, boom, Gary Rowett, and we've actually sustained it. Do you think our fans need a bit of fucking pain to make them wake up and smell the fucking coffee?
I think it's slowly but surely just turning and twisting against him anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. I know it sounds stupid, but would you take a relegation dogfight if you knew you was going to survive it?
Yeah.
I feel the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what will be the deciding factor. I'll tell you what will be the deciding factor, Dan. The Palace game. That is humongous for Rowett. And I'll tell you why.
That's a good point.
We notoriously have a good cut run.
Yeah.
And there's normally a Millwall side would not let Crystal Palace turn up at the Den and roll them over.
You're right there. I can think of that because they're expected to win. They're a Premier League side. If he don't go out and fucking get into them, I didn't think of that. You're right.
Yeah, that's a good deciding factor for Rowett. And I always said to you, I always felt like Rowett would. Obviously, it's not going to happen now, but I always said Rowett will be gone around the Christmas period. And then we'd have someone else come in and we'd absolutely smash it into the playoffs for the rest of the season. But that Palace game is so important, not just to Millwall, but to us as fans as well. There's pride on the table. We are expecting to go at them on the 8th.
Do you know what? You're fucking spot on. I didn't even think of it, but you're actually absolutely right.
Yeah.
Paul Grimani says, has Rowett ever won anything? Well, no, he hasn't, but that's not many managers have in this day and age, so I won't take that on board. But Dave Clark said, I'm too biased against Rowett, Dan. Do you know what? I don't think I am. I think everyone said I was mad and I was just trying to get views when I wanted him out 14 games without a win. But now people want him out and we're fucking four defeats in 16 or something stupid like that. I just don't enjoy it under him. Neither does Kenny.
No, definitely not.
But, it will continue. And just when you think, do you know what? He might change my mind after the Birmingham game. We'll go and beat Peterborough. And then we don't turn up. Was that the players? Was that the fucking manager? That's another question. We'll beat Palace. What do you reckon, Ken? You confident?
No, I'm not. But the thing is, though, again, with Rowett and the way he plays, you wouldn't fucking put it past him, would you? You'd like to think that the players would be up for it. You'd like to think that, wouldn't you? but I just don't have that fire in my belly that we did have when we had that cup run last time, when Leicester came to town, when Bournemouth came, and then it was Bournemouth Watford. You know, that little cup run there, the fire that was in my belly.
Yeah.
You know, I felt
Everton,
like the players betrayed
Everton,
that.
fucking even
Everton,
Brighton, even Brighton. I know we fucking the penalty shootouts, fucking microwave Dave in goal, 3-1 in, but that when ain't no Brighton scored that second goal, mate, that fucking that I've never heard noise like that.
Yeah.
When we fucked ourselves, we started singing "Que Sera, we're going to Wembley." That's when it went wrong. That's why, you know, always going back to Harris. If we got in the top division, we always do well against the big horrible clubs, don't we? Give a good account of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're the underdog, but if I go fuck it, we're the underdog. We've got to be fearless and go for it. But Steve, Steve, there you go. We'll never have a cut run under Rowett because he won't have a go at them. He'll sit back, open a scrape 1-0. It's just boring, isn't it?
But you know what, Dan?
Does he enjoy his job? Like, I love my job. Does he like if you had to go to work, Ken? You went right, every day was a fucking 10-foot square bit of grass you just had to cut. You'd be like, fuck this. Like, you want to fucking put a fountain in here and there, a bit of astro, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Fucking like decorative something. You want to enjoy yourself while you're there, didn't you?
Yeah. I think he concentrates far too much on your stats. On this is what he does. I concentrate too much on his stats and his figures, and you know all them.
A bit of fucking art and a bit of bollocks, mate. Can we art on your fucking sleeves? Let's see what you fucking got.
You'd hate to be his wife, wouldn't you?
Get into everything.
I've said that too many times, but
who
runs serious?
He's going to defend his title. Mark Parris, legend, mate. Dan Kelly, we both doing well. I'm still not happy with Peterborough game. I hope we can get something from Preston game. Come on, you Lions. Legend, Mark. Thank you, mate. Well, you know, one thing, you went, didn't you, Saturday, and he's up that way, so it weren't too bad for him. But what do you think is happening in Preston? And let's talk Preston. What do you finally before we leave?
Well, it's a game we should win, Dan.
Yeah, I don't know how to get on the division, actually. Let me have a look.
I think they're down the bottom, actually.
I've got the table. They're not in the top half. That's good. They're still in the bottom half.
Yeah, about 16th, and they are 40th.
28 points. They're 2 points below us. Do you know what? I don't know who's in charge anymore. What did you bet? Alex Neil, didn't it? But they're always the side we struggle against, home or away. What does Rowett do, and how does it pan out?
Well, do you know what Rowett does in this game? Is he goes back to, and he'll revert back to doing things that will make us win the game, because he knows he's at Peterborough, 2,500 people all on his back, having a dig at him. So when he starts feeling a little bit like threatened, a bit like that, he then usually lets the shackles off, so to speak, and lets us go at it. So this is exactly what's going to happen. We'll probably end up beating Preston convincingly, and then what we'll do is we'll go into the next game and fucking do the complete opposite again.
Do you know what? I was looking at our away. We ain't got that many away fixtures coming up. We've only got Bristol City and Coventry over the Christmas period. Other than that, everything's at home.
Yeah, so we've got Swansea Boxing, don't we?
Swansea home Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bristol City away, I think on the 2nd or something like that.
2nd, yeah.
Coventry away 27th, something like that.
Right.
So I mean, as we know, anyone could beat fucking anyone.
Yeah.
In this division. I know it sounds really bad, and I'll get shit for this. We've lost one. I don't want us to lose football matches, but I can't have Gary. Well, he won't be our manager forever.
Yeah.
This is what I'm wondering. Like, you can go like Neil Harris, you can go, well, he'll leave one day or he'll get sacked. I don't think Rowett's going anywhere. Twofold. One, he's too proud. Two, no one else would have him. Where's he going to go from Millwall? He's going to go lower, and I think he thinks he's better. Like, I'm fascinated to know, at what point does it end with him? Because football managers in this day and age don't last long anyway, do they?
This is the depressing thing, isn't it? Because you just don't know when he's going to fuck off.
And I shouldn't say this, but I think, we've only won 1 in 6 now. You know, we're not in danger of going down. If we've lost a couple, he might fuck off. But it's not the fucking mentality you want to have, is it? Watching your football team fucking lose.
No, but then it's got to a point where I'm sitting at home and watching it on my laptop now instead of going to the ground, you know. Yeah. And how many other people are going to How many other
missed a few
things?
away games. I don't know if you've missed any games. I've missed a few now. When I was with you up you at Huddersfield, we win. That's it now. No, that's knocking that on you for a bit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because we're not on 15 grand a week, then. You know what I mean? We're on. We're hardworking people. We're hardworking people. My money is split here, there, and everywhere, and I've got a grind to pay to go and watch my football team play football. So, when I'm forking out to drive up to Huddersfield with the kids, especially, blah blah blah. In the end, you just sit there and go, "Do you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it." And that's exactly how I've been. I don't even think I'll go to Preston on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm not interested. I'd rather just watch it on the telly and then do whatever I've got to do.
Well, I'll be there Saturday. If I can I should be able to leave the house Thursday. So, barring any miracles of a double COVID hit, I should be all right to go Saturday. I think once we slip into the bottom half, which we soon will, in my opinion, then it will start getting pressure from the fans. Well, when Kieran was on earlier, he was saying he was getting pressure from the fans at Peterborough. The thing is, I think just people like to moan at us, go, "Oh, I can't believe you want him out." But everyone I know now wants him out. And even the people I don't know, like the ground, and I don't boo, they're all booing. I think more people want him gone than don't.
Do you know what? It's difficult because of the way the situation is, Dan. And, like we say, are we playing well? Are we playing bad? Are we going crazy? I think people are a little bit too shy to say they want him out until we end up, I don't know, let's say, for instance, we lose 2-0 to Preston. That's when the emotions will get to them and they start booing him and,
Here's something I'll be very interested in. It'd be a fucking perfect fit for us, as we know, a love-hate relationship. But at least he gives a fuck.
Yeah.
He's doing well at Cardiff, isn't he?
Yeah. There's not many people like him anymore. And our team is the type of team that needs someone like that.
No, you're right. I know exactly what you're saying. You're saying there's not many like that anymore because it's all about like foreign managers now who haven't really played the game and they come in and read all the manuals. He's art on his sleeve, and he's played for the club. That'd be a very fucking interesting one, mate. I would love that. Christian, thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, on that note, mate, I think we better wrap it there. Hang on, Lee Curtis. Any comments on what I said? I don't know what you said, mate. Sorry. Just finally, this guy fucking is just relentless with his YouTube exploits. So if you haven't already, give MillTube a follow. He's been going for longer than I have, and people come and go, mate, but he always keeps going. He's doing really well. So
yeah, I'll just say he always comes up on my YouTube as well.
Mate, honestly, the consistency.
He's honestly worth watching.
He's a man now as well, which is weird. He's a big kid, but now he's a man.
Yeah, when he started, he was really small. He had a baby face. That baby face has gone now, MillTube.
Yeah, now he got me. Now next time he sees me, he might give me an headlock. But a full-blown man. But yeah, keep going, mate. Really good. Would love KO or Morrow. Yeah, Morrow definitely. KO, I don't know. I think he's all about the image, KO, isn't he?
Yeah, that was a little bit difficult, innit, with KO because he was a great player for us. When he came back, it was all about something other than. I don't know what it was about, to be honest. I don't really understand what happened when he'd been coming back. We all expected him. It's the same as the Savile situation, isn't it? We expected him to do what he'd done for years for us.
Like second and third comings at clubs never fucking works out for many. No. It's always nice to have a Hollywood superstar in the group. When do I see Rowett's reign ending? When is his contract up? When's his 3-year plan up? 3 years ago.
Yeah. It must be 3 years the end of this season, surely.
Look, he won't walk, and I can't see him sacking him.
No, I don't understand it.
This is what I'm saying. So I fucking don't know. I'm trying to get an answer for you. This is what worries me. This mundane, like your Millwall's your fucking bit of nutty turnout, isn't it? People have to go home, they have to go to work, they have to answer to fuckers they don't want to answer to. Not me, because I work for myself. You have to fucking listen to your old woman. Not me, because I work for myself. But you got to listen to all this shit in your life, and Millwall's your fucking release.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm a prisoner under Gary Rowett's reign, almost. I'm like, please, go. You can have this fake money. Just go.
I don't know whether I was more depressed not watching football over COVID or watching Millwall after COVID. Don't know what's made me more depressed.
It's just not. It's not the same, is it? And then what happened is Rowett will leave, and the next manager will get us relegated. We'll go bring back that fucking master tactician.
Yeah, he was fucking brilliant. Always said Rowett was good.
Oh, don't. Yeah, look, some fixtures coming up. January, February. We have Forest.
Wow.
That must be at home. West Brom. That must be at home. QPR at home. Yeah.
Fulham
will be away. That's midweek. Yeah. Blackburn away. They're fucking flying, by the way, since they got tanked by. Since they got tanked by Fulham, they've won like fucking 11 points out of 13.
Did they beat Bournemouth last week as well?
Huh?
They beat Bournemouth last week, didn't they?
Yeah, 2-0, I think, yeah.
Away as well.
So it's no easy games. No easy games. When will it end? I don't know. But this relegation's interesting.
Yeah.
When this podcast is ending, it's right now because I've not been able to taste a lot, and I might get some Domino's, hot wings with a sauce. That's where my mind is right now, everyone. And Ken, thanks for joining us, mate. Legend, and we'll do it again soon. Hopefully, Kieran will get some Wi-Fi for Christmas. And we feel better after that chat, or we're more confused than ever?
Yeah, I'm more confused. I don't know who I am now anymore.
We killed Aaron 15 minutes, and you're going to have some chicken wings. That's all you care about right now.
Yeah, smashed it.
Legend, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Please subscribe to Lions TV. We'll be back for, what day is it? We'll be back for a preview on Thursday. I might try and get a Lions Lounge in if possible. If anyone knows anyone, let me know. Come on, you Lions. Cheers, Ken.
Come on, you Lions.